You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have.
My grieving was service. My brothers off the lines on occasion were here, and watch them say to watch you navigate this was just, for them, it was transformational. Because I wasn't doing it the way people think it should be done. It's not about the event, it's about how you respond to See, reaction is grief. Grief is reaction.
Right.
For me, and I can't control, I'm unconsolable, I'm in the cone, I can't function. That's reactionary. That's not a response. That's not intelligence. That's emotional.
And it's to a degree, it's a self.
It's all of self-pity. I'm trying to garner self-pity, or I want the Lord to feel sorry for me, or whoever you're trying to impress. Because it does nothing ultimately. When the day is done, it does nothing. Now, are there tears? Absolutely.
Right.
Is there sadness? Absolutely, because you missed your person. But it didn't turn into I can't function. I love you. And one thing Brother Rodney Asaad Muhammad said to me. He was one of the first of seven talks I had with powerful people, and I put them all 7 in the book. But Brother Eric said, Brother Rodney, did you love your wife? I said, absolutely, without a shadow of doubt. He said, okay, that's good. He said, did you love her more than you love Allah? I said, oh, absolutely not. He said, why? I said, because Allah gave her to me. He said, exactly. He said, if Allah gave her to you as a gift, don't you think He is sufficient to give you another if He so chooses to equal or better off? I was like, He is all wise and knowing. Yes, sir. He said, okay, brother. He said, go to Allah and ask Him what He wants. He's trying to tell you and trying to teach you in this. And then ask your wife. She is in the bosom of Allah. Ask her, what is it? What's the lesson that you and Allah have for me? Not that she's a God besides Allah, but as His servant.
Right.
What is the lesson she had to me? And I'll tell you, brother, the lesson that my wife had for me was love.
Okay.
She opened, her heart was so wide. That's why so many people were affected. I didn't know she affected that many people. And I was teaching at the mosque, and Brother Charles allowed me to teach. And I said, I love my wife. I knew my wife was wonderful. But the calls I got and the people that were impacted by her over her life of 40 years, brother, I didn't even know she knew some of the people. I didn't know she knew some of the people that was, I'm like, people call her, she helped him with this when she was in Howard University and edited the brother's book. And I'm like, she never mentioned that stuff.
Right.
Never talked about it. Because she was about service, helping people. She give her last to somebody. If she had nothing, she still give something to somebody.
Yes.
So, felt so loved. That was the thing.
Now you're in the process of writing a book.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about that book, and was that something that you had in the works before, or okay?
No, it was born out of this.
Okay.
The book was born out of this because the second call I got out of the 7 was Brother Asaad Muhammad out of Dallas, and his wife. She had passed about 30 days before this situation. And my wife and I had talked about it in depth. And how it affected us even in our household. And then he called me and offered words of comfort and guidance. Even though he's 30 days into the throes of what he's growing through, he called and said, brother, if you need me, call me. Wait, you just lost your wife 30 days ago, and you're calling a brother who just lost his wife a day or 2 ago, and you're saying, brother, if you need me, call me. I'm here for you. If you just want to talk, cry, yell on the phone, whatever, I don't care what time, day or night, you call me. That's brotherhood.
Yes.
And so in our sharing our experiences, because his experience and my experience almost mirrored, it was unexpected. It almost mirrored even the type of personality that his wife had and my wife had, of service to their nation, duty, responsibility to their family, how they treated us as husbands. These were MGT to the core. I tell people, I say, you find a better MGT than my wife, you got to show me her. Master Muhammad might have to hand deliver her. But that's just me saying it though. I mean, some sisters be like, okay, you know, she might not hot. But me, you have to prove that to me.
Right.
That's how dutiful I knew my wife was to what she was being taught in her class. Because I got the benefit. When Elijah Muhammad said, only heaven you gonna see is the Tonja manifested that. She manifested that.
Right.
And so connecting with the brother and us sharing our experience online, he realized also as well that it was part of our responsibility to keep their legacy alive of what kind of women Elijah and Farrakhan had produced.
Beautiful.
That's what we wanted to show. These are the kind of women, the stereotypes, the scandals, and the desperate whoever's. Those ain't Elijah's. They ain't what Elijah produced. This is what Elijah produced. And if you want anything to look like this in your world, in your universe, you need to women need to come to that class, and this is how that turned out. And so it was born out of this sharing. And what happens is the response we were getting from people, from the things we were sharing about our wives, and my experience with my wife, and you know, brother and I did the book cover. I didn't do the book cover because I wanted to do a book. That wasn't the reason. Because I like art and graphics, I figured I'd put his wife and my wife on the cover of the book just as an image to put out there. It wasn't even supposed to be a book. It wasn't even supposed to be a book. It was just me, artistic hand. I'm feeling it right now, creative. I put that out there, and people say, "How can I get that book?" I'm like, it's not supposed to be a book. It's just an image I put out there. And then when people say, "Oh, I want that book. I need that book. Oh, when is that book going to be available?" And it just took off. So a lot took. It's like when the minister threw out 1 million men. He said he couldn't call it. He saw the words, he couldn't call it back. Well, I had put the image out there, and I couldn't delete it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what is the title of the book?
Oh man, it's called Married to an MGT.
Okay.
Married to an MGT. And what we did is we did a subtitle that said "The Blessing of Having Heaven at Home in a Black Woman, Overcoming Loss and the Words That Could Save Your Marriage."
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta get that book.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
So you all are working on that book now.
We're finishing it up. I think tonight I'll be doing some of the last pieces of it.
Okay.
Brother Jahad's finishing up his writing now. Package it all together. Have the editing team go over punctuation, grammar, and all that stuff over the next 2 days or so. Because he's the managing editor of Dallas Weekly, which is just hot. And what he's doing with Dynasty Hip Hop and all those things, just beautiful stuff there. So he's a worker out in Dallas, and so we're doing that, and then we're going to get into the hands of Asaad Farrakhan, inshallah, because we're talking about the MGT, and although these are our wives, the Honorable Farrakhan, the Honorable Muhammad, Master Muhammad had more rights over them than we have. They're not our believers. We just got blessed to be able to have care over these women. And so understanding that process, I'm not going. We knew it would be just wrong. I'm gonna say just a sin to try to write a book about the MGT and not have the man who's tasked with making sure that they are what they're supposed to be, not look it over to make sure that class is not besmirched in any way, something mischaracterized in it, or something that's not a place as it relates to them, right? And so we want to be very careful because we are talking about God's woman. So we're going to send it to the Honorable Farrakhan, inshallah. We hope we pray you'll write the forward. Oh Allah, write the forward to it, at least approve it, and then we can get it into the hands of the believers, and then ultimately start doing. We're going to do workshops and seminars in the mosques and study groups and cities. But this is a book not only for registered Muslims. Right. See, Married to an MGT is universal. Right. Because a Muslim girl in training is anybody who wants to go through those training units and become what she was, designed to become. And so we want to open that class up. That Honorable Farrakhan told us to open our classes up. And so we want to open the class up to the general population as it relates how we viewed it. Right. Our experience being married to an MGT. And I'll tell you one thing. I pray to Allah that Brother Jahad and I pray that this is our heart. That every brother that reads this, if your wife not in the mosque, you're going to be trying to encourage her to get to the meetings. Honey, go to the MGT class. and she gonna be encouraging you, honey, get to the FOI class because every MGT need a FOI. Right. You can't have MGT and you don't want to be FOI. They go hand in hand. That's like it's a combo pack. You can't. It's like that's a number one on the menu board. You got to get number one. You got to get both. Ain't gonna no substitutions or nothing. FOI go with MGT. And so we want to inspire women, because if 75% of his work was with, we pray that this book will inspire women to say, I want to be in that class. Because if the woman's up, the nation's up. Our children stop dying in the streets.
There you go. Beautiful. So we hear the beautiful words and the lecture of the minister, and talking about pain, and talking about creative things that come out of pain, not just joy, but things that come out of pain.
I'll tell you, brother, just in short on that, and we don't want to focus. I didn't want to focus. The book is not about focusing on the what they say loss, and I'm putting that in quotes because I didn't lose anything. I gained my faith. I didn't lose anything. I gained my faith, and so I didn't want to focus on that. The only reason why I put it we put there's parts in the book about that part is because we want to show you the contrast. We want to show you what your life could look like. For some people has looked like, and that way it might, inshallah, minimize some of the issues you think you got in your life. My wife didn't do this the other day. Why my clothes ain't clean? You came in the house, didn't even get a greeting. All those things we should be mindful of. But are they so egregious that we got to start talking about fighting, bickering, discord, divorce? Because of some of these things are minor infractions. I told brother, brother, hold your wife hand. He laughed a little bit. I was like, you want to switch? I'm hoping that, and I told brother, I said, brother, I'm glad they say, I say, when mom said, I wish it had been you being an example for me rather than me being an example for you, I understood that at a deep level. Because whatever problem you got, I won't. Right now, I'd love to have my wife here with a problem.
And I won't go any further, but that opens up another interview, and that's gratitude.
Yes, right.
And many of us don't appreciate what we have until it's gone. And so, like you're saying to a brother, look,
appreciate it now.
Appreciate
everything. Even if it's just a small things. Your parents, if you have your parents, your cousins, your neighbor. I mean, be in a constant state of gratitude. But I'll tell you, when the Honorable Farrakhan said this, and this is a point for the book, the point the reason why we decided to really go all out on the book. When the Honorable Farrakhan told us that the number one threat to the national security of the Nation of Islam was the divorce rate, that should have sent shockwaves through every relationship. It should have. Well, maybe that wasn't enough shock for us. That wasn't a good enough wake-up message for him to say that. So, Brother Jihad, his wife, transitioning, my wife transitioning, other believers losing sons and daughters and spouses, sometimes out of the blue. Maybe this is the winds blowing on the bones to get them to hopefully, inshallah, stand up a exceedingly great army of people who are desirous of maintaining strong marriages. At least working hard towards trying to be married.
Right.
I'm going to say being married, we're in the process of becoming.
Right. So wrapping this up is that even in our sister's passing, you see her work and her service coming through yourself.
She gave me life.
Right. Exactly.
She gave me life. See, we talk about the Jesus story, and he died that we may have life, have it more abundantly. I go away. Man, I understood that at such a deep level because she put life in me. I'll say this last point of this. The week before this all happened, she was trying to encourage me to do more. To be more involved in things and teach more in the mosque. And I talk for a living. I travel the whole country and talk 6 hours here and all over the place. I ain't trying to do it. I'm just resistant to it all. Allah speaking through her, trying to get me to do it. She stayed on me too. She wasn't letting up. I was just complaining and moaning and and then there's a baby about it. I was just being a sucker about this situation. And but she was such a patient woman. She was like, well, just think about it, or just roll it around in your mind first. Just patient. And so I was like, oh, well, you all right, whatever. Just resistant to the whole idea. But see, as Allah would have it fixed. Since Allah comes between a man and his heart, and I tried to set up gods besides Allah, He says, okay, I'm going to take what you think you love. Yeah. So in what we think is death, that's why the Quran says, do not speak of those who are slain in Allah's way as being dead. Nay, they are alive, but you perceive not. We don't know what that is. We said, understand, we know the verse, but to understand it at a deeper level, to see now her life on a whole nother level. Countless people have called me talking about how this situation has changed their marriage. That's Allahu Akbar. I'm like, so okay, wait. So my wife transitioning made your relationship better? Brother Student Mr. Charles, 42 years. He was at my wife's bedside on his 42nd anniversary. He's there when she makes her transition on his 42nd anniversary. And he says to me, that Monday FOI class, I was in class, I was sharing some things with brothers outside, we're talking, and he said, Brother Rodney, what you were sharing, brother, that even enhanced my relationship with my wife, and we've been married for 42 years.
Beautiful. I
said, brother, all praise due to Allah. That's what I want to do. That's what Allah asked me to do or commanded me to do, I say, and that's what I want to be about, trying to help repair some of these things. I've had some past relationships just damaging relationships, just doing it wrong. And so now my responsibility is to repair those broken relationships that I had my hand in, and inshallah try to, if I can, have some word. I talk for a living, so I think I can talk. and to be able to share with the believing bodies, the community, people at large, some strategies that you might be able to use that might just put you on a different path. Because there were those strong families, there'll be no strong nation. We can just call this thing quits.
That's right.
If there are no strong families. But it starts with self.
Well, I want to thank you, brother. I kept you here. I think we ran out of tape.
That's right.
For those who are looking at this last portion, this is on another tape.
Right.
But I want to thank you for just, sharing your experience and what you've gone through and how you have been able to embrace it,
yes, sir.
And then turn it into something that not only benefits yourself, but now will benefit the community as a whole. So thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. And then we're gonna the website's gonna be marriedtoanmgt.com. Marriedtoanmgt.com. So.
Okay, married to an MGT. And if you want, please give out any other information. I know you speak for a living. If you want to give that information.
meetthegoal.com. Yes, we meet the goal. We go to schools and work with the young people and anti-bullying and courage and we do a lot. But right now we really want to focus on building strong relationships. See, the children, fixing broken children that live in broken homes can be a circle of brokenness.
Yeah.
So if I work with a broken child and I got to send them to a broken home, if I can't change that environment at home, they just go back into that same environment and just have to battle again. So I figure if we can fix the home life on the top end with the parents, the people at the top, then it makes it a little easier for the babies to have a fighting chance.
Yes.
And so that's why we want to really, the book is most important right now to me. So we, instead of putting a Band-Aid on the gunshot, why don't we just prevent the gun from going off?
Absolutely. Thank you, brother.
Yes,
may Allah continue to bless you, and all that you are doing. And we look forward to the book coming out.
Praise be to Allah, inshallah.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge